Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? What's up, everybody listening?
Hey.
Was anybody that listens to the show a Lions fan?
I don't know.
If so, I got a couple things to say to you.
I don't know.
Number one, R.I.P. Number two, crazy thing is, I was pulling for them because I didn't want to see Washington win.
Yeah.
But now they're in the same place as the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, not really.
In Loserville.
They're in the nice
Mexico.
They're in the nice part of Loser Town where
No, they're not. They're in the same exact place. They live next door.
No.
The same apartment, same heat, pipes, everything.
No, they have more wins, so they're in the better part of town.
That means they have a worse draft pick, actually. So we're in a better spot.
Yeah, but you know.
We have the nicer room this time.
No, you don't. You have
Jared Josh, their quarterback.
Anyway, also joining us, it is our producer, Edgelord Big News Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hey, we're back after a 2-week absence. We're back, very excited to get into it. We got a lot of manga to talk about, so let's not waste time hating on the Lions. And let's get into it. You can follow me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh. That's on X.
Cool, yeah.
And I guess, is it on TikTok?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it back?
Yeah, it's back. Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Hell yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Instagram, X, and TikTok as well. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it on our pre-show chat show that we do. We didn't have any questions this week, so we just talked about our various Nen abilities. You know, we did a Nen affinity test a few weeks ago. We finally...
it was a great time.
Yeah, we revealed our Hatsu. So check out the pre-show chat show that will come out on Wednesday from the time we're recording. And I hope you guys are enjoying that. You could subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're an audio podcast listener, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Pocket Cast. We're pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. So check us out. You could also subscribe to us on YouTube. We're fully back with video capability. Very excited about that. So give us a follow, give us a like, a share, all that stuff. Help us in the mighty algorithm to succeed. And yeah, with that being said, let's head over to our first series. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1136, The Land That Awaits in the Sun. Last we left off with One Piece. Everybody is at Wano. Everybody's doing their own thing. Luffy and the majority of the Straw Hats have arrived in the God World to celebrate their arrival with the rest of the giants. Robin has stayed behind with Saul, with Saul and Chopper, at the big library thing that Saul has established. And there have been 2 mysterious and shady figures that have arrived on Elbaf with crazy powers. So we'll see how that goes. One of them looks like Shanks. Ooh. So we'll find out what his deal is about. But this chapter starts off when we meet our King Ja Rule, the king of the giants. And he's got a giant sword through his head that is kept in place seemingly by a helmet that saved his life, even though it went directly through his head. The sword didn't help at all. I mean, the helmet didn't help at all. But, Luffy's eating. The giants are all chilling with the Straw Hats. Usopp is claiming that he defeated Oars himself, which was very like Usopp. We're seeing here that, the giants are all admiring Jinbei because they've never seen a fishman before. There are plenty of giants that have never left Elbaf. So this is their first time meeting one. Sanji is stoked because he's hanging out with a bunch of giant ladies. Brooke is holding a little mini concert for the other giants, and we see Roto pull up, and he's just like, "Ultra rare Nami, ultra rare Straw Hats. Please forgive my earlier indiscretion." He's
ultra rare.
Yeah, he's like beat up.
Secret rare.
Yeah, mega shiny Straw Hats. And he's like all beat up and all that stuff. And Zoro's like, "It's all right. Nobody died, but only because Usopp stopped us from fighting back. If not for that, your head would have left his shoulders." And Gerd pulls up to be like, "And the next time he tries something, you just go ahead and do that." And he's like, "My Gerd!" Oh, Roto is also developing a domination fetish before our eyes. We see that Roto is like, as he's apologizing to the Straw Hats, he's thinking to himself, is like, "This is awakening something in me. Punish me, Gerd."
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That was actually...
Yeah, so...
That's pretty bad.
It's very funny. I don't know why. It just made me...
This is so stimulating.
Yeah, he's just like this. When Gerd is like, "Yeah, kill him next time he tries something."
Yes.
And he's like, "My Gerd!" He goes, "Oh my God, that was kind of hot." I'm kind of liking this right now. And then
he's like a Redditor.
Yeah, he really is. This is incel to the max. But you know what? We shouldn't kink shame. It's totally fine that Roto wants to be dominated. He's a bratty sub, and that's okay. So Roto explains that like that whole thing that he was doing with the people in his weird little farm is basically a dream, because every giant wishes to be the sun god and to rule the world. And interestingly enough, every giant on Elbaf seems to have a different interpretation of what the sun god actually means. Some people believe he's a ruler. Some people believe he's a god of liberation. Some people even believe that he is a god of destruction, which is interesting. We then learned from Ja Rule that there is an ancient religious text known as the Harley, and because it's so ancient, there are many interpretations of it. So the world has apparently been destroyed twice in the past, which is one of the legends that is spoken about in the Harley. And in each case, the presence of Nika, the sun god, is closely tied to it. And nobody knows really what his role in the destruction of the world actually was. So people have like plenty of interpretations as to what the significance of Nika. So yeah, everybody, Ja Rule explains that like Nika wears white clouds around him and appears in white hair, clothes in and jolly laughter. And Luffy makes the connection. He's like, "Oh, that must be why everybody said I reminded them of him." But that has nothing to do with me. But apparently we learned that Loki and the late Herald, in a sense, are the result of attempting to be Nika. And Luffy's like, "Oh, Loki, is he a good guy?" And everybody's like, "Absolutely not." They explained that before that he is an accursed prince. Even before Loki's birth, King Harold prophesies that he would be killed by his own son. And shortly after Loki was born, he killed the royal family's lucky horse.
Sheesh. This guy sucks.
Yeah, what a fucking dick. It turns out that is also the same year that Big Mom killed Jorul, the legendary warrior. And the country was beset by natural disasters, and the queen died a year after giving birth to Loki. In that time, Loki went down to the underworld and used his innate strength to kill and control the very vicious animals down there, and he unleashed them on the village. Loki's many pranks threaten the lives of the giants. So he's apparently made everybody's life hell while King Harold was away. And they even go so far as to say that Loki killed Harold right in his own castle. And when Ja Rule tried to stop him, Loki stabbed him through the head with the sword. Ja Rule again clarifies that the helmet saved his life, even though it didn't really do anything. But yeah, they explained that it was Shanks that actually caught Loki rampaging at sea, and he brought him here, and he is basically the reason that Loki is probably chained up right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So Luffy's like, "Oh shit! I heard Shanks was around here. Is he still here?" And the giant says like he was around a little while ago, but they don't know where he went. And in the outskirts of town, it seems that Zoro takes Luffy aside to talk to him about what they just heard. They explain. Zoro's like, "So he killed the king. So obviously Loki just lied to you this entire time." And Luffy's just like, "Well, he said he knows where Shanks is. Do you think he's lying about that?" And Zoro's like, "Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you talk about seeing Shanks all the time. It's a way for him to take advantage of you." But he's like, "I never met him, so I don't know for sure." And I guess the Straw Hats decide to go meet Loki again. They take Nami and Roto, and they head over to the underworld, I imagine. Roto is now Nami's servant, but he is in the tier of servants, of Nami's servants. He's probably number 3 below Zeus, who's number 1, and Sanji, who's number 2.
I forget about Zeus sometimes.
Yeah. And apparently Zeus has just been casually shocking this guy, which Roto loves because
He loves it.
which Roto
He's totally into it.
yeah. Oh my god, the funniest thing, you see Roto like pull up to Nami, he's like, I think we share a lot in common with both of us being navigators. And then Nami's just like, never try to close the distance between us again. He's like, no, of course not. And I like to think that he's like, he slides into frame, like, and then he's like, all right.
All right. Never try to close the distance between us again. Yeah.
Yo, Nami's funny.
Never again.
So yeah, they're going away. The party's continuing without them, and Nami plans on robbing the entire the castle for its treasure. That's why she's really can't come along, not just to navigate them to where Loki is. And then we cut over to the underworld where we hear Loki's laugh for the first time, where he's goes, Doga! What is this? And we see that Loki is being approached by the cloaked figures we saw land on Wano, the Holy Knights, the Shanks guy, and the other one. And they seem to be inviting Loki to become a Holy Knight. And Loki is like, Doga, Doga, all right, I take your point. And in that case, I refuse. He's like, you think I'm going to spend the one life I have stooping to the level of trash? And he has like, so what are you then? Celestial dragons? And Shivs, as Brian calls him, is like...
Stabs.
Yeah, Stabby McShivs is like... Where's the intel from? And we meet the first, this new Holy Knight, new character entirely, named Gunko, who is a woman whose sleeves kind of unfurl to really reveal this weird arrow fabric thing. It's obviously a devil fruit power.
Isn't it kind of like Medusa from Soul Eater?
It does remind me of that now that you mention it. I see what you mean because she had like arrow things.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Snake, Cobra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But damn, you remember it. I've been getting a lot of edits of Soul Eater, and I'm just like, man, if any anime needs like a Brotherhood type remake, it's Soul Eater, man.
I'm surprised it hasn't been done yet because Soul Eater is
Way
super
better.
popular.
Yeah.
Soul Eater is a very popular series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really good too.
It's great. Anyway. So yeah, they basically talk about how the agents dispatched onto Elbaf sent one last transmission that a giant crow appeared, and then they haven't heard of anybody who has been to Elbaf since. And so they explained that, like, but now that I hear him for myself, he is supremely insolent. We should simply erase him. And it's at that point one of the giant wolves pull up, and Loki's like, "Doga ha ha ha, gobble them up, wolf." And yeah, dire wolf. And then Gunko uses her fun arrow sleeves to basically hang this wolf, which made me sad. I was like, "Oh no, the baby! It's just a little baby." And Loki's like, "Wolf, no!" And Shivs is like, "If we offered to spare his life, would that change your mind?" And Loki's like, "You're offering me a deal? In that case, your fate is sealed."
Please.
And I'm like, "Damn, dude." He says, "Your fate is sealed, my friend. Die and be at peace." He says, I'll be angry, sad as well as angry, but a warrior doesn't quibble and whine about his way of death." And the chapter ends with Loki saying, "Instead, he'll feed on this rage and use it to bring the world to ruin." And that's where we leave at One Piece. Josh, what did you think about what did you think about One Piece chapter 1136?
I think Loki ate the tongue fruit. That's what I think. I think that's what his fruit. I think that's what his ability is.
Yeah.
It's like lick a tongue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He ate
Or
the
like Toad from X-Men.
Yeah, he ate the lick-a-tongue fruit.
You know what happens to a toad when he gets struck by lightning?
What?
Oh, I was hoping you would remember that line and know how to finish it because I don't.
Wait, what line is this from?
That's from the first X-Men movie.
Oh, damn. I don't remember that movie
From
as
Fox.
well as I thought I did.
I'll have to look that up right now. All right, what do I think? Well, I liked One Piece. I liked it a lot. I think it's really interesting that they've decided to go get the key for the cuffs and violate all those people in Elbaf. Even though they think he's lying. But I guess Zoro feels like, who cares if he's free? If he's lying, we'll slice him into pieces. But, so I guess maybe that's why he's not thinking so hard about it. But if they let him go, he's getting away. He's going to turn into jelly, or his tongue is going to help him escape in some sort of nasty, mischievous way. He's a dirty guy. He killed his own dad, killed a horse when he was 10. I think he's capable of very malicious and weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm actually really more curious what you guys think about the chapter. So Brian, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't have much to say about this chapter. I just want to see Shivs already. I would like it for him to stop blue balling us on Shivs. He showed us Shivs like fucking 3 chapters ago. We still haven't seen his face yet. Just let it all out. Let's see it. But aside from that, this is a pretty nice chapter, pretty cool chapter. It's nice to see that if you look at Nika, he has like longer hair than Luffy. And it's hard to imagine Luffy using a spear.
It's a sword.
So
It's a sword and shield.
Oh, it's a sword?
He has a shield.
It's hard to imagine Luffy using
Very
weapons.
ice.
Yeah, so it's interesting that Luffy is different from even Nika in that aspect, where he's so free that he just uses fucking his hands to beat the shit out of people. um, but yeah, that's about it. Interested to see where this goes next chapter. Hopefully we get a good old. Hopefully we finally get a reveal on Shivs next chapter. But Chris, what are your thoughts?
I really like this chapter. I think it was interesting to introduce the idea that Nika can be interpreted in different ways. Like everybody we've known so far has seen Nika as kind of a good thing, but there are people who see it in a more maybe not malicious sense, but yeah, I guess like a destroyer who lays waste to all is pretty malicious. So yeah, it was really cool to see that like there's not just one way of looking at Nika. That even like the world government, even there are multiple people who can see him being a conqueror of some sorts. And I'm curious because the Giant seems to have a really big connection to Nika, so we'll probably get a lot of information about him throughout this arc. This is gonna be like we always figured that this is gonna be a humongous lore arc, because the Giants probably know so much being around for so long, for hundreds of years, their lifespans being so. It'll be interesting in that regard to see where that goes. It's good to meet our new our new Holy Knight. This is actually the first, besides Figureland, the first named Holy Knight we met. So it was kind of nice to see. I don't know what her deal is. I don't know what this devil fruit is, but
she has a very big celestial dragon vibe about her.
Oh yeah,
sure.
I'm sure all the Holy Knights do.
You breathed on me.
Yeah, she said you breathed on me. And then she used her arrow sleeve, which was kind of cool. I had this other thought as far as these celestial dragon. Oh, not the Holy Knights went. Oh, one thing I found interesting is that Luffy and Zoro and Nami are probably going to run into them because they're heading right Loki's way. So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, those are all my thoughts. So this is like a lot of interesting stuff. We're finally getting the action moving along. And I am curious as to where we go next.
So pog.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything to add?
Nopers.
This is more of like a passing thought. I don't think that it holds any relevance. And I think it's kind of like not the right way to read it necessarily, but I can't help but see kind of a weird parallel being drawn with Loki being like a prankster specifically and Usopp. But that's like probably not a thing. I don't know why, but when I read that, like they refer to Loki's like things as pranks, I figured, hey, maybe that's the parallel being drawn between Usopp and Loki, so seeing as how this is probably going to be a little bit of a Usopp arc.
I hope so. I'm waiting for
Yeah,
it.
I've been listening, and that's a good observation. I feel like I'm just gonna ask y'all, how realistic is it that there is another crewmate and that it's gonna be Loki?
I don't think it'll be.
I don't think
He is really distinct.
I would be surprised if they added a giant because there's nowhere to put them on the ship.
But they're already at the end of the journey.
Yeah.
If they were gonna
Yeah,
add a
totally.
pirate, it would probably be the kid that Luffy fought.
I don't think they would bring the kid along. I feel like there's going to be a parallel between Shanks and I forget his name. It starts with a C. But Luffy's going to be that for that kid. He's like grow up and be a great pirate or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
But that's my little prediction there. But I don't think they bring any giants
He's
along.
pretty reckless.
I think at best, if Loki is going to be part of the journey, he joins the new giant pirates.
But you think he wouldn't want to be the captain?
He'd probably be the captain if he wanted to be.
But the other guy is the captain.
I don't know. That's my thought. I don't see Loki hanging out on the Sunny unless he's able to manipulate his size somehow. But I feel like it doesn't make sense because he's not that big. The only giant who's able to walk on the surface of the ocean is San Juan Wolf.
Yeah.
So,
I think the Sunny gets an upgrade in this arc.
maybe
I think the Sunny becomes bigger in this arc. Not gonna lie.
possible, but they'd have to build a new ship. I don't think they would be down for that.
I don't think they would have to build a new ship. I think it could just be gigantified.
Which would almost be like a new ship, honestly. But they do have they do have the Atom Tree.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that they wouldn't even change the rudder of the Mary because it would basically be building a new ship. But who knows? I don't know. I just have a feeling that a giant doesn't go with them particularly.
I think it'd be.
Has
cool
there
for them
been
to have
more
a giant
time
boat.
between them getting the new ship from now or from when they got the Gomeri to getting the new ship?
What do you mean?
How much more time has passed?
I think they had to have gotten the Sunny in like the 400s range of chapters. Because that's where Enies Lobby ends. So it's like over 700 chapters maybe.
And we're at
1136.
okay. Yeah, because they get the Mary at what, chapter 40 something, chapter 30 something.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact chapter.
Oh, but you remember all the names.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not a big chapter rememberer.
What did they call Zolo?
The pirate hunter?
Yeah. What did the two people that bounty hunted with him call him?
Big Bro Zoro? Yeah, Josh has been quizzing me on One Piece since he's been rereading it from the beginning.
That one's easy. Josh.
Yeah, I don't know. Josh is giving me
No,
easy
it's not,
answers.
Brian. I would have never fucking known
Brian,
that.
he thought Johnny and Yozaku were like hard questions.
What? Come on.
Are they in the Fishman arc a lot or something?
No.
You know, I mean the Arlong.
Yeah, they're in Arlong.
Yeah. They give their.
Can't wait.
Oh wait, I
it's
guess
so
I won't
deep.
spoil anything.
Orange
'Cause you're-
Island?
Nope. Gosa.
It's kind of like you're rereading this. It's like you're reading the series for the first time again.
Yeah, you have a good. You're lucky. I wish I could reread One Piece not knowing what's happening.
I know what's happening. They're about to go
You
see
don't
the
know
fish
what's going
guy.
on. You don't know what's going on at all.
Yes, yes, I do. wait. They just fought Mihawk.
You don't know what's going on at all.
Zolo just fought Mihawk,
Yeah.
and they're about to go chase after Nami after that whole thing wraps up.
Oh, so you're on the Baratier.
Yeah. And after they leave the Barate, then they go to Orange Town. I know that's not the name of it, but they have oranges there. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's Nami's town, which is overrun by Arlong and his goons.
Goons.
And I know what's happening, bro. They're gonna fight. Nami's gonna be like, "Thank you, Luffy. Oh my god, I actually fucks with y'all." You know what I mean? They're gonna beat the shit out of Arlong. They're gonna beat his ass. They're gonna whoop his ass. I can't wait to screenshot that shit for y'all.
Yeah.
Then after that, Whiskey Peak. They all go to the snowy mountain and drink mad whiskey. Listen, you know the Little Garden? Little Garden happens. Fuck. You about to say some corny shit. What happens after fucking...
I can't tell you. I won't spoil it. You don't know what's going on.
Orange
How could I spoil it for someone who's never read the series? It's
I didn't read it. Stop. No. Damn. Wait.
you're not gonna remember.
I know the next crew member they get is Chopper. He said I'm not gonna. Because it's not something normally anybody would get. After fucking
No, people
15
remember the
years
next
of
arc.
reading that shit.
People remember the next
Oh
arc.
my god. Is it big?
It's kind of a big deal, yeah.
Oh, they meet the Wax Man. They
No.
meet the Wax Man in the island. No? Fuck. Brian, what happens?
Don't
what
tell him.
happens
Don't
right
tell him,
after
Brian.
Arlong?
Don't tell him, Brian. He
Brian,
thought
please.
he thought Little Garden was
Brian.
after
You talking
Arlong
about
Park.
what arc is
No,
after?
I thought
Arlong?
Whiskey Peak was after. I thought Whiskey Peak was after Orange Town.
Wait, you don't know what's after Arlong Park?
Lowtown.
There
Lowtown.
you go.
Yes.
He did it, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen.
Wow. Damn, I kind of spoiled that for myself. Damn, I didn't read it, I guess. I know I did, but I guess I didn't.
It's okay. Just experience it for the
Lowtown.
first time again.
Then after Lowtown, it's Whiskey Peak.
Nope.
No,
Garden
Nope.
of
No.
Eden.
no. Just enjoy
okay,
the ride,
buddy.
Josh.
It's okay, buddy. You don't know. And that's
Chris
okay.
said I wouldn't get Lowtown, but that was significant.
That took 10 minutes.
I mean, sorry to hold y'all up. let's go. Sakamoto Days.
Hey, no, we could do this
I
all day.
read One Piece.
We
I
could do
read
this all
One
day,
Piece.
honestly. I'm here
I
for
read
it.
one.
Wait. Try one more time. What's after Rogue Town? Come on, you know this. We actually just talked about it for a long time
Shit, we did.
with the map explanation that you guys can know. We explained the One Piece map to Josh in our pre-show chat show. So check that out. If you also have questions about the One Piece world map,
They go to Split Mountain?
it's not what it's called, but I'll give it to you.
Reverse Mountain?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, so Chopper is in the Grand Line.
Yep.
Scopper the raccoon
Nope.
or deer, whatever.
Scapagaban.
Yeah, that's the coolest name in One Piece, probably.
Scoppergaban.
I think so. Right?
It is pretty cool.
Scapagaban.
I sometimes I say
What
it
is
to myself.
Gaban?
I don't know what that
Does
means.
that mean something too? Or
It
it's
probably
just-
doesn't mean anything.
It probably
It's
doesn't mean
just
There's
anything.
some odor flare,
It's probably an Oda flare, yeah.
some OF. All right. I remember stuff.
Scapigabaki.
Right, they go to the Reverse Mountain. I thought Little Garden was in the East Blue. No, it's in the Grand Line. It makes way more sense. How the fuck did the Giants get there? They went underwater? Or
No.
you think they scaled the fucking mountain?
Oh, they probably went underwater to go from the New World to Little Garden. They probably went underneath, like everybody else. That's the thing about Fishman Island. Everybody has to pass through them in order to get to the New World. So they get pirates regularly.
Yeah.
Like that's the one nexus.
Which is
point.
why they really need an emperor to keep them safe.
Anyway,
Okay.
well, that was One Piece chapter 1136. We will look forward to the next One Piece quiz. Very excited, but let's move onward.
Vodka Peak.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 197, Seatbelt. Last we left off, we
Does
started.
Big News Brian have an alert for us regarding Sakamoto Days?
Do you have an alert?
Do I?
Anything that's been on the streets about Sakamoto Days recently?
Ever since I uninstalled Twitter, I haven't really been attached to the streets. So,
Well, I heard something.
what'd you hear?
And that's that Sakamoto, the anime, got really low reviews
Oh, yeah.
from IG.
For those who don't know,
It was
Sakamoto Days has an anime adaptation or adaptation that you can see on Netflix exclusively, I believe. So if you have Netflix, check it out. There's 2 episodes in. I think it looks fine. I think it's good. They did a good job.
Guess we all can't be Dandadan, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I don't see the
No,
problem.
I'm being a jerk.
I know, but I don't see the problem really with people. I don't know. People are spoiled.
It's because of what's this fucking animation studio called?
Ghibli?
No, the one who does the one who did Chainsaw Man and
Mappa.
JJK. It's because of Mappa. Mappa fucked up anime for everybody now. They got spoiled.
Well, it looks good, so I don't even know what you want, really. This is the opening chapters episodes of
I'll tell you what I
Sakamoto
want.
Days.
I want to start a GoFundMe for Brian so he can have a plane ticket, round trip, and a week to go to Japan and talk to those people in the animation studios and say, hey, fucking relax.
What?
Fucking relax.
Why do I have to go?
That's your
So
mission.
Because
here-
you're passionate about that.
Here's the thing, though.
It's your
Like,
theory.
so this is the thing, right? So mainstream manga is kind of in a bit of a revolution because they can't really get away with half-assing animation these days. So like
World Trigger did.
World Trigger barely.
Did.
Not
It did,
anymore.
bro.
Even
It did. It was
No,
fucking
okay.
amazing.
Let
Not-
me
not
explain
anymore,
something real
though.
quick.
It looks
You
great
cannot
now.
say World Trigger got away with it when they literally the next season had to bump up the animation to actually make people watch it, to have people watch it. Because the first season, it almost was cancelable. It did get canceled, I think, for a while, and then they brought it back with a better budget. So that's the only reason why World Trigger exists. Like the anime, not the manga. So bare bones bullshit doesn't get away with it anymore. Even One Piece had to fucking get a better like animation budget and upgrades. The sound design for One Piece is still hot fucking garbage, but the animation looks
Is it?
good. Yes, it is. They use fucking 30-year-old sound effects still to this day.
I never
You'll
noticed
see
that.
Zoro fighting S-Hawk, and it literally sounds like fucking straight out of a Looney Tunes fucking episode.
Who the fuck
It's
is
stupid.
S-Hawk?
The Mihawk Seraphim.
Oh. I read
yeah.
One Piece, guys.
Josh has
Like
never
I
read
said-
One Piece in his life.
mainstream anime is in a bit of a revolution, and like compared to JJK and Chainsaw Man, which is very cinematic and like very well directed and very extremely well animated. When you look at Sakamoto Days by comparison, it's not a good look. I'll say that much.
It's also just its first 2 episodes, so nothing too crazy
Yeah, no,
happens.
but the thing
It's a
is,
gag series for the most part.
Ooh, unbiased?
Unbiased kings.
but the thing is, like the first two episodes of JJK compared to the first 2 episodes of Sakamoto Days is very different.
It's different, but they're different series.
Yeah, they're different series, but I don't know. I honestly, I felt a little underwhelmed, but I hope that when the series picks up, the animation also picks up. Because right now it feels a little generic. Like the animation feels a little generic. It's not anything to write home about. It's not, but honestly, I'd prefer to watch read the manga at this point, because it's not like it's not giving me a reason to watch the anime rather than read the manga, which is more dynamic. You know what I mean?
I have one question for you, Brian.
What?
Did you actually did you watch an episode yet?
Yeah, I watched an episode with Christian.
Now, when you watched it, was it in Japanese or was it in English?
It was in English because Christian's a dub enjoyer.
That's fine. I've been.
He's a filthy
I pick and choose
dub
between
enjoyer.
Dub. I listen to dub more often now because if I'm not looking at the TV and I'm doing something else, I don't know what the fuck is happening. But
Man, people shit on the dub, but narrator Sama and Hunter x Hunter.
man, dub was
Kurapika.
it was amazing. Now the dub for Hunter x Hunter was incredible. I don't even care about the
Kurapika is
Japanese.
now drowning in an
Everybody's voice
indescribable
sounded good.
emptiness.
Nah, but oh, where was I going with that? Shit, I lost my train of thought now because I said Hunter x Hunter. Whatever. Well, Sakamoto Days, right?
Yep, Sakamoto Days, chapter 197. So we are entering a flashback to how Sakamoto and Shin know each other. We have the boys going after this guy named Ando. Sakamoto, that is Sakamoto's current target at the time of this flashback when he met Shin. And Shin is looking for Ando because Ando might potentially be his dad. So, Sakamoto is trying to find his Ando, and Shin proposes a deal that if he takes Shin on the mission, he'll use his ESP to help him find Ando. And Sakamoto is like, Ando is my target. Are you after him too? And Shin explains that Ando is his dad and that he's been hunting him for years. And Sakamoto just goes, oh. And he explains like, hey, take me with you. I can help. And also, if possible, please don't kill my dad. And Sakamoto goes, how old are you? And Shin says that he's 13. And Sakamoto replies like, old enough to make it on your own. Yep.
Yeah. He does he say that out loud?
I would like to think so, yes. He goes, yep.
I think he just thought that in his head.
Oh, the tank top
Honestly.
sage emerges.
Yeah, finally coming on to this apartment, man. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So shit is like, don't you feel bad for me? My dad abandoned me as a kid, and I've been on my own my whole life. And Sakamoto's like,
He was like, tough shit.
true.
You'll be alright.
But he explains like, but I wouldn't try and find a parent who abandoned me. Like, who cares? And Shin's like, well, easier for you to say. You're strong. The only person who would ever understand me is my dad, maybe.
Maybe. I guess.
Perhaps. And it's at that moment Shin starts to hear someone's thoughts, explain that, yeesh, that Ando's such a slave driver. And he's like, whoa, Ando? J.A. Hitman? That's got to be my dad. And Sakamoto's like, huh, that guy's connected to Ando? And Shin tries to bluff it. He's like, I don't know. And Sakamoto's like, well, your expression while you watch him, the sweat, breath, tension in the body, all indications that you're hiding something. And Shin
Man,
just...
who's worse, him or Luffy?
Yeah. I mean, Luffy's worse. I feel like Luffy's a worse liar. So Shin starts to run, gets a little bit of a head start. He starts running. Sakamoto chases after him. He jumps off this like little bridge thing, and he passes this lady who's like at this shop, and he yells that like the guy behind him is super hungry. This lady pulls out a fucking melon, and she asks Sakamoto as he's passing her, would you like to try my melon? And then Sakamoto sidesteps her, and he's like, I'll pass.
Nothing.
But then she catches up to Sakamoto and whacks him in the face with a melon.
She's like, no. I asked.
He said, young people should eat what they're offered. And this is like the most significant hit I've ever seen on Sakamoto. Just by this regular woman.
Bash him in the face with melon.
Yeah. Sakamoto even is like, nom. He hit her so hard. He hit him so hard, like Sakamoto actually started to eat the melon. Then a bunch of other townsfolk started chasing him because this town is apparently low on business. So they're trying to capture a customer right now.
No way. I thought those were just assassins.
No, these are just regular people. But at the corner of Sakamoto's eyes, there's one guy in a car, and he's just like, dang, look at that. So that's where we leave Sakamoto at this moment. He notices a car. We catch up to Shin. He ends up in front of this cruise ship, and he steals the guy who he's trailing's ticket onto the ship. And he finds his dad pretty easy, actually. He finds him on the deck. There's this guy kneeled before Ando, and Shin is just like frozen because he's like, whoa, what do I say? Long time no see sound weird. Remember me? And then he's just like, why did you abandon me? That should be the first line. And then at that moment, Ando pulls out a gun and shoots the guy who's kneeled down before him. He explains that a floater has already sniffed him out, and he says that he's got to ditch the country quick. And Shin's like, what the hell just happened? My dad killed that guy? How come? Who on earth? And then that's when the guy whose ticket he stole pulls up and grabs Shin. And Shin looks to his dad for help, but Ando ignores him. And the other assassin that's there is like, he's looking at you. Here, kid. And Ando says, I ain't got no kid. Toss him overboard.
Yo.
And Shin is pissed. He's like, seriously, you son of a... And we cut over to Sakamoto, who is evidently stolen that car and is still evading the townspeople who are keeping up with him driving a car. And he notices out of the corner of his eye that Shin has been dropped from the deck of the ship. So he does a cool Tokyo drift, and he drives off of the bridge that he's on, and he catches Shin in midair. He puts his seatbelt on, and he crashes the car directly into the cruise ship. And Shin is like, did you just save me? And Sakamoto's like, huh? I just needed a little weight on the passenger side. So the thing was flying.
He was dead ass too.
Yeah.
Because he said that shit in his head.
Yeah. And then he cocks his gun and he's like, let's kill your dad. And she's like, don't say that part out loud.
Right.
And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Sakamoto Days, chapter 197?
I believe it or not, this was my chapter of the week. This
Whoa!
Certified RGC.
Oh! Shit. Okay. Okay.
I'm putting it twice because I guess Brian.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Is there
It's not me.
is there three?
No, there's no three.
Okay. 'Cause I was about to get blown out that fucking door. You understand me? That would be crazy.
That would have been crazy.
I would have looked like, when they doing the driving simulations and they
Yeah.
fucking, when they hit something.
Yeah.
That's going to be me, man. It almost happened. So, yeah. This is another, if somebody was to start reading Sakamoto Days from right here, it would be absolutely fine. Because, it's just funny. Sakamoto's always been a funny character. He is my favorite character in the entire series, hands down, non-debatable. I mean, he's the charm of the entire book. So seeing his behavior when he was younger and less, I guess, caring is cool. I don't take it for granted. That's for sure. I found myself reading this shit like the last chapter, kind of like, oh yeah, skinny Sakamoto. I've been seeing him, but I just realized, this is him from back in the day before he met his wife and et cetera, right? So, he's shiced. he really don't give a fuck about he probably I think he cares enough about a kid not needing to die, you know, for no reason or whatever. I think he cares enough that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think when he saved Shen, it was more. I think he was telling the truth about, you know, the weight helping his car, but I think it was a two things can be true thing at once. Where he also figured, oh, it'd be nice if I could catch this kid, and while I'm at it, I could use his weight to help me get into the boat, since that's probably where this guy is at. I love it. I love how the fucking assassins that come after. I'm not gonna lie. I think that is my favorite part of the entire series is when random assassins and people try to attack, and like, yeah, most of the time they're not a serious threat or they could be pushovers, but it's the moments where they're so earnest and sincere about their assassination attempt and plans to foil somebody. I get that these people weren't assassins, but they were dead ass serious like assassins. They took their work as seriously as an assassin, if not more.
Yeah.
Equal to or more. Like if you're in math class in elementary, you do the line with the mouth. You know what I'm saying?
The line with
Less
the mouth.
than or equal to.
Oh.
Yes, the open mouth. You know the
Yeah, yeah,
what do
yeah.
you call that shit?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That.
I don't know if there's a word for it.
Greater. It's greater than or equal to.
Yeah.
That of assassins. That's why their aura was like that. Even the way Shorty was standing there before he that was some
Yeah, it's the way she was
the
standing
one I
there.
was like,
The melon.
yeah, well, aren't you lively? Yeah. Look at that. Hold up. In the middle panel, when she's standing outside of it, just like with her hands at her side.
Yeah. She's like
Tough.
tough.
It's tough. These Sakamoto world, people are fodder, but I also think the average person is stronger than normal. A little bit more dedicated.
She smacked the shit out of him with that melon.
Yeah, and said, "Nah, you're gonna have this." And I really thought those were assassins. I thought that's fucking hilarious. That it was the massage people. Like, no, you're gonna come over here, and I'm going to rub your feet. So, yeah, I like this chapter. Shin watched the guy get shot in his fucking head, and instead of being like, "Oh wow, I wonder what that was about," he reacted like a normal child, which I realized when I looked at Shin, I was like, "Why are you being all extra, man? Just go say, hey, are you my father?" And then I was just like, "Oh wait, what if I just seen someone get shot in the fucking head? And what if I was a third of my age?"
Yeah. You were literally
So-
13.
Yeah, I think. Man, I love the scenes. I love how it looked when Sakamoto was whipping the car to turn. This has some gorgeous art.
Yeah.
I hope the anime can deliver instead of being a complete shit show, as Brian put it earlier.
As
from
Brian
his
and the
point of view.
streets are saying, it's a complete garbage fire.
Yeah, and
I don't agree
Brian
that's a complete
agreed.
garbage
He
fire.
concurred. That's what
Oh
he
my
said. He
god,
said
I don't agree
it was
that's a
lacking.
complete garbage fire. It was at max.
Sakamoto's voice actor. That's what I was trying to say earlier. How could you listen to Sakamoto's voice actor in English and not feel like that's one of the best series out right now?
It's Matt Mercer. It's
Yeah,
the voice
I mean,
of
Matt
Levi.
Mercer
Yeah.
is the best part about it, but Shin's voice actor
Exactly.
is kind of
Matt Mercer holds it enough.
That's
I figured
Trafalgar
you would
Law
know
right
that,
there.
Brian. Right.
I mean, he's more than just Trafalgar Law. He's also like
Levi?
Cassidy in Overwatch. He's hot new. No?
Yeah, Overwatch.
All right, well. Yeah.
Yeah. He did Trafalgar Law. We all know that. But anyway, that was my thoughts on Sakamoto Days. Brian, what were your thoughts? But before you give your thoughts, I'll tell you what's on top of Chris's thoughts. A flash hat. It's pretty cool.
It's
It's
actually
also
Black
the
Adam.
color of the Commanders. What?
It's Black Adam.
Anyway,
Well, I'll go take several seats.
This was a pretty cool.
It's rough, bro.
It was a pretty cool chapter.
rough one.
Like it kind of felt like classic Sakamoto. You know, just it was pretty cool to see Sakamoto drive off the fucking bridge and then catch Shin and crash into the boat. That was a pretty fire sequence.
Did he literally crash out?
He did.
He
literally.
legit crashed out and then
As
also
the kids
crashed
would
in
say.
at the same time.
Kendrick Lamar had a line on his album. I think I said this last time. I'm gonna say it again. He said, "If you crash out, then you better break the backboard." You think Sakamoto? You think Kendrick would have approved of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
If the side of a cruise ship is a backboard, Sakamoto definitely broke it.
Yeah, he definitely did crash out. And
who has
in.
more crash outs? American comics or manga?
Oh, manga.
Probably manga.
Manga is the crash
All
out
right.
king.
What if we don't count the, less scrupulous, series, genres?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
You know, the weird stuff.
Like what?
What do you like?
What are you
What?
talking about?
Less scrupulous?
Less scrupulous.
Is that a word?
Like dating, like the harem stuff, or reincarnated as something.
Yeah, the isekais. Everybody crashes
Yeah.
out in anime. That's kind of the vibe. But continue your thoughts.
I'm sorry.
Continue your thoughts, Brian.
But yeah, seeing Shin's dad be a dickhead. I wonder if there's gonna be a twist on that guy. He's gonna be like, I'm sorry, son. I have to hate you to keep you alive, kind of thing. Maybe.
There's no chance. He's definitely a piece of shit.
There's no other way.
But yeah, this
He
was
probably
this.
owes child support.
What
This
if
is a
it's
pretty
like,
solid chapter. I feel like, yeah, this flashback is doing some sweet shit, some cool shit. I wonder how it's all gonna tie into Shin when we get out of it. But those are my thoughts.
yeah?
Those are my thoughts.
I thought this was a really good chapter. It's not my favorite chapter of the week, but it's second place, so I will take that. I think that it's probably going to be some kind of Megumi Toji situation where this guy is like, "You'd probably have a better life without me," even though he clearly didn't. Or maybe he's a piece of shit, like Josh said. To be honest, it could go one or two ways. I think there's a lot of parallels being drawn that, like, you know, creating a father-son dynamic between Sakamoto and Shin. That's especially more clear in the present, obviously, because Sakamoto basically adopted Shin.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes.
So, you know, at this current juncture, so it's just building that rapport and you know that Ando may be Shin's father, but Sakamoto is the dad that stepped up, type of vibe. But otherwise, I mean, it has all the cool shit that we love from Sakamoto. The cool, like, action set pieces, the somehow incredibly detailed when it matters most drawing of the car. He went in on this car.
Yeah, looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So,
You know what that scene looked like? There's like this random image I see sometimes of like a gorilla driving the car or something like that. And he's like turning it.
Wait, didn't I send that?
The guy
Did I
has like a
send-
sweat. Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Maybe.
goes.
I've seen it a few times.
and
he
he
can
goes.
really do this.
He can really do this. Wait, I have to. Oh, I'm gonna send it in the group chat. I actually have this in my.
It was
phone.
that moment in like the pilot chapter. You know, you could tell that was probably the first chapter of that
He
series.
could really do it.
They're like, oh shit, like Like that's the funny, the straight man guy
Let me see
moment.
if I can find it.
I know my stuff.
Oh wait. Okay, so I found this one, which is I love this one. It's a horse, and it says "How hungry." It's the most detailed horse of all time. Let's see.
Oh
Do
my
they mean
god,
how hungry as far as are you hungry enough to eat a horse?
that's very detailed.
Okay, where is
So
this?
hungry I can eat a horse. Oh, is that it? Is that the? That's a saying, right? I'm so hungry I can eat a horse,
Yeah,
right? That's
that's a saying. That's a saying.
I'm about to call my grandmother, yo, because she'll know. She's old.
It is in fact a
Love you,
saying.
Nana.
Where's the gorilla at? You guys can keep going. Chris,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that's really all I had for Sakamoto Days. I am enjoying this flashback. The action's pretty sick. But another professional sneeze button from Josh. Professional broadcaster Joshua Cole. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't really have many thoughts outside of that. I really liked that they're building that parallel. It's just like Sakamoto's the real dad. You know? But excited to see how it all turns out with Ando. Does he live? Does he die? That could go either way.
There it is. I found it.
How'd you
Am
find
I
it?
weird for wanting Ando to be a prevalent character moving forward in the series? Like, I don't want him to
Never
die here. I
seen
want him to be.
This gorilla, the guy's face. I'm gonna
Yes.
edit this in.
Yeah, with the
So
sweat
you guys
bubble
can
on
see it.
his like that. Like you could see him coming to terms. Like, all right, I might just have to put my trust in this animal. I know, like I
This
get
guy,
it.
yeah, he's just like this guy.
He portrayed it well. He did. He's like, it's that unsettling feeling, but he has to accept it because he's sitting passenger seat right now.
Yeah,
And he's,
This gorilla, he can do it.
yeah, and he's just sitting there, like
Like,
it's not.
yeah.
It's not a very expressive face. It's more of. He's like,
And the gorilla,
I went from
calm,
thinking
cool.
sure death, right?
yeah,
He's just doing his thing. He went from thinking surefire death to I can't believe I haven't died yet to holy shit, this gorilla can do, and that's where we're at right
this gorilla
now.
can drive.
Yeah.
Well, I'll need to know where this series is from.
I really need to read this series now, probably, but after One Piece,
It's just Bobo.
after I read it for the first time, apparently.
Yeah, after you read it for the first time. But those are all my thoughts on Sakamoto Days. I don't know if you guys have any rebuttals or anything.
Nah, that's all from me.
Alrighty, with that being said, let's move onward.
Bloody cross.
Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi.
And with that, I'm going to toss this one over to Jersh.
Oh. All right, give me 1 second, because y'all know how long this app takes.
Yeah.
But Kagurabachi. I could talk about what happened last time. They was in a high-speed chase after Samura's. That's that dude's name, right? Samura's daughter.
It's technically her name, too, because Samura is his last name.
So they was looking at. So the Hashaku was trying to capture his daughter. They ran up on her at school, almost had her, but Chihiro and the 3 shinobi or whatever intercepted her, and we had actually a really good chapter about Chihiro coming to terms with loss, his mission at hand, and him not having to rely on the same abilities he did before, but to rely on these people that are helping him to have a common goal. It was good. It was a great chapter. But this week, we continue the high-speed chase. That was actually interrupted by Chihiro doing a really fucking cool somersault over the motorcycle to stop the
Yeah.
Shaku swordsman.
Yeah, it was style
wants to
points for
have-
days.
Yeah, super aura razor.
Or a razor slash.
Yeah, it was really cool. It didn't hit him, but it was cool. Anyway, yeah. So Chihiro's out here aura maxing, and this guy wants to fight him so bad now. He's like, "Nah, all right, you're cool."
Yeah, that was sick. I
Yeah,
want nothing more than to fight you right now. That was super cool.
yeah, but he's conflicted. You see, because he has a mission at hand, and that mission is to get Samaru's daughter, because she's key to breaking the deadlock between the Hishaku and Samura. Because Samura definitely plans to kill all of the Hishaku right after he finishes killing the other sword bearers. So yeah, this is key for them. So the swordsman has a decision to make: passion or the mission, responsibility.
Don't we all, huh? You know?
Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? See, this is a really
Hey,
great series.
you know, I've never related to a guy more.
Yeah. So Brian speculated last. He speculated that there was a character. Oh, no,
right.
No.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, but we already went over this. That's why I said it's okay, Brian. I'm not gonna drag it.
Was this a wrong Burgundy bet?
No.
No.
Brian's like, no.
That was I forget what I did a wrong Burgundy bet on.
It's like a One Piece one. Damn it! I know I read it down somewhere in my nose. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
It has to do with One Piece though. Can't believe it.
It was Shanks related. But Brian definitely thought that this lady didn't exist.
Yeah. Because I don't know, the way that she was, I don't know, there was something weird about
Well,
her.
nobody addressed her ever, but she
We
existed for
confirmed
sure.
it ourselves, but it gets super confirmed in this chapter.
Yeah.
It gets 100% confirmed.
In fact, everevery saw her.
1,000,000%.
Everybody basically pulled up. And, you know, they really do listen to us. They have... Because they might as well have been like,
Sakamoto
you see her?
Days a couple weeks ago.
You see her? And
Last
everybody's like,
week-
yeah, I saw her.
Last week they're kind of glossing over her, and I'm like, oh man, like nobody sees her. And then this next chapter, they're like,
Right over there.
every character points at her.
Right over there.
Hey, where's your partner? Oh, your partner is over there. Oh, I left my partner over there.
Yeah, this is off screen, but Chihiro's dad is in his grave like this right now.
There she is.
Right there.
Sheba in a flashback. Oh yeah, she's gonna be there.
Yeah. Uraha
always
during the Great
existed.
War. She's
Are
over
we
there in the
gaslighting
future.
Brian? Maybe.
But it's good that we cleared that up.
Yeah. So, yeah, speaking of her, well, she's shown in an image, but it just reminded me of it. So I kind of jumped the gun there. But anyway, Chihiro's having a little flashback, thinking to himself about, what his newfound responsibilities will be, and part of the situation is that he can't use his sword, and because of that, he's kind of weak as a traditional swords fighter. He doesn't know how to, use his spiritual energy with his sword, like on a foundational level, like majority of the swords masters can, that don't use super duper powerful swords with Bankai and Shikai and all of that. So, they explain how swordsmen, skillful swordsmen can circulate their spiritual energy towards the sword and use it to cut objects that they normally couldn't, like a fucking boulder. A lot of people. This guy, the teleporter, says he doesn't know how to use the sword. So I don't know whose theory it was that he was gonna end up using the sword, but
Who?
Wyatt L. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe it was me.
Hirohiko? Are you
Someone-
talking about him?
No, talking about the teleporter guy.
Teleporter
Shiba.
guy. Oh, somebody said that he was gonna use a sword.
Yeah, one of us.
Really? Who?
It was said here. I don't remember who, but one of us.
Shiba
said
says he
it
doesn't-
wasn't me.
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, say it. I'm confused.
He's saying that one of us said that
No.
Shiba was gonna use an enchanted sword.
Brian, you said that for sure.
I said that?
Yes.
When?
You said it was a passing thing, but you definitely were like, maybe she was gonna end up using a sword at some point.
I don't forget a fucking thing when it comes to pettiness.
When did it? In what context?
I think it was
The
like
context that you were wrong in.
Yeah, but like, what sword? Did I even say what sword
No.
was good?
you just said he would end up with one.
I mean, Chihiro is even though he doesn't know how to use a sword, Chihiro is an example of people who don't know how to use a sword that could use it anyway.
Yeah.
So there's still a possibility that he could use the sword anyway. But I don't
You
know
think
why
you
I
just
said
reflected that, right? You think you just countered that, but you didn't. You know why? Because Chihiro can use a sword.
That. Yeah,
can
he
use
had
it
to
decently.
teach himself.
Just not on a master level. Shiba says, I don't know how to use a sword.
Neither did Chihiro.
Yes, he does.
He
was
does
taught.
now, but he literally taught himself.
Shiba can't do it. He's a grown man.
That's a bullshit excuse.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
he,
is.
He doesn't do that. He teleports. He don't use swords.
He doesn't
don't know
even
how
need
to
to
use-
actually use the sword. All he has to do is use the fucking power from the sword. And
Yeah, no,
killed.
Shiba explains that he doesn't know how to use a sword. He says it here in this chapter.
But brother in Christ, Chihiro didn't know how to use a sword either. What are we talking about?
It's basic principles. If you're a teleporter, you have low affinity with swordsmanship.
Whoa, easy. That's wrong. Nightcrawler.
Sasuke.
Nightcrawler doesn't have Nen.
But he teleports
Sasuke teleports. He uses a sword.
and he uses swords.
He doesn't use Nen. Oh, he basically does use Nen. Shit. Nah, he don't teleport. Where the fuck he teleport to?
Nightcrawler?
No, Sasuke.
Sasuke uses the Renengan to teleport. Well, used.
Yeah, he uses the time space warping garbage that they.
I lose. Okay.
I respect it. I respect you backing down.
I want to continue, but I can't because Ronnie.
All right, we gotta continue. Josh, keep going. I don't even know how we started this argument.
It's just how quickly it all just
Brian's
ended.
antics.
We went on one of Josh's roads of sarcasm and ended up in a brand new place.
I lose. Okay.
All right. Okay.
It's been a long time since we got wrapped up into one of Josh's roads of sarcasm. It's been a long time since
Yeah,
we
y'all are more resistant to it.
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time we've been lulled. We were driving in the wrong direction for 5 whole minutes.
I don't always do it consciously. Sometimes it just happens on its own.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why we couldn't pick up on it this time.
Wow, I'm naturally like that I don't even know when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
That's impressive.
yeah, and Mr. Shiba can't use a sword, so that's that. Basically, yeah, Chihiro's like, look, I can't use a sword like that. I ain't nice. You know, I've been relying on the enchanted blades. It ain't gonna cut it in these current circumstances. But since he wants to keep fighting, he's gonna put them skills to the test. And this guy you would think would be a nice little like warm up for Chihiro, but it's not because he is a master swordsman. So much, he's so nice that he could tell by the way Chihiro's fighting him that he's not that nigga at all. And he's like, nah, you're not worth risking my job for in the goal. I must go capture that high school girl. Peace, Chihiro.
Later, loser.
Right. So he gets past him. Yeah, and then actually, no, well, actually, I'm sorry. Before he goes past Chihiro, he actually argues with Chihiro, you know, letting him know, like he's like saying, yo, like how are you gonna try to like learn how to fight while you're fighting? Because that's what Chihiro said. Like, how are you gonna like learn to fight with swords? And he said, I'm gonna do it on, you know, as I'm going. And he's just like so fucking disappointed. And that's when he gets disgusted and just leaves them. He actually, you know what it is? He's reminded of what Hirohiko, who I guess this guy doesn't like Hirohiko either. No one really likes him.
You know, nobody likes that kid.
Notice that. No. Funny, except for the leader. He has plans for that child. It's not looking good. So, yeah, he kind of gets triggered after Chihiro saying that, thinking he's not taking it too serious. He's like, don't be arrogant. If you can't respect the sword, don't use it. Bitch ass nigga.
Yeah.
I added the last part. So,
That was the
then
attitude
he was like,
behind it.
how can I wage a decent sword fight with a moron who disrespects the art? And then he bounces. And Chihiro's left like, oh shit. Damn, there's too much distance. I'm paying the price of relying on the enchanted blade, because that nigga would have been in pieces at this point. He would have been sushi.
Yeah.
A la carte. But then Mini Masumi notices, like, he's running along with Chihiro, and he notices he's like doing a little something with his sword. And he's like, basically, he's like pulling his spirit energy together. And he does this really cool move called the EA White Purity style, which is something that I guess he learned from watching
Uraha.
Thank you, Uraha, like use the technique. But basically it builds up spiritual energy into the sword as you like while it's in the scabbard, so that while you open it up really quick, it gives you like a burst of speed. Yeah, basically like a little speed burst. So Chihiro uses that just off of the memory of seeing somebody else use it, and then with the burst of speed catches up to the Hishaku swordsman and impresses the shit out of him. And he decides, before thinking about his partner who is alive and real and dying in the car right now, against all odds, he decides, you know what, I'm gonna fight Chihiro instead. As the girls get away scot-free. And that was the end of Kagurabachi. Brian, what were your thoughts?
I kind of wish I gave this RGC instead. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Such a solid fucking chapter. This series doesn't miss, man. Like, I can't think of a single stinker chapter this series has had in the past. How many chapters is it? 64? 64 straight good chapters? Like, come on.
You can't say that about Sakamoto Days anymore, right? It's over for you.
I'd have to wait to see how this flashback or this arc wraps up before I'm like, all right. But so far, this arc has been a little disappointing so far for Sakamoto Days. But Kagurabachi, opposite. Not disappointing at all. The art, fantastic. And again, I don't know how this guy does it. But the way that he just tells a story with every chapter, like the past 2 chapters are kind of like a masterclass on like character development and character writing. I don't know how the fuck he does it. He he just knows how to tell a story with events. Like, I don't know, like he keeps doing these like partial flashbacks to the meeting that Chihiro had with the Masumi, and every time he cuts back to that flashback, the like it's like them having a discussion about like Chihiro and how he feels and what he needs to do and what he wants to do. And with every chapter, every time we flash back to that, it's like a narrative device to continue pushing Chihiro. And I don't know, like just cutting from the flashback to Chihiro's resolve strengthening because of the bond that he's building with these three people that were also kind of like that are also looking for like kind of purpose again since losing their master. So it's kind of like, man, such an interesting like dynamic. You know what I mean? It's like these three completely capable caretakers developing this kid who never had anybody to take care of him. You know? Like Chihiro has spent his entire life taking care of everyone around him, and now he's finally in a position where he can look at himself and grow as a person for the first time. And we're watching it. Like he has people around him to actually help him grow, and we're watching with every chapter. It's such a fucking beautiful moment. And this is who he is when he doesn't have to literally use his best fucking tool all the time. Like he legit has to use N10 all the time, because if he doesn't, people will die and things will kind of fall apart. He's the ace in the hole for pretty much every situation that he's in. So now he's afforded that chance, and god damn it, this series just does that so fucking well. Like, man, hats off. This is a great chapter. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Well, as the only true fan of Kagurabachi, this is my RGC.
Fuck you.
Certified
I'm joking,
RGC,
obviously.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, this chapter went existentially hard. It was very good. Just the art alone, A+. It's just he's just like such a great artist, and he knows how to make these iconic like big full page spreads and 2-page spreads. He just like knows how to milk a moment for all it's worth in the cool factor.
True.
But it's one of those things where, like Brian said, he is finally able to kind of like grow and not use the N10 as a crutch anymore. And I really like the idea that like your skill with like an enchanted blade would have to be is only magnified by how good you are at actual swordsmanship. Like by channeling your energy through the body through these motions, you can make your sword stronger, and it is what swords are at the end of the day. But yeah, I like this. This is kind of like a little mini training arc for Chihiro, if anything, which I appreciate very much. This is going to be a really cool full page spread when he finally regains the N10 and like uses it. I'm expecting that after he's become a master swordsman. I have this sneaking suspicion that Kuguri might be a good guy later.
I hope so.
He might
I
be an
actually
enemy
hope him
to friend vibe, kind of in the same way that Choso is. But
See that?
yeah, that's what he reminded me of. It may not happen because Kagurabachi has, defied those expectations before, I feel. But this is a Choso if I've ever seen one. Choso-esque guy.
I like this character. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hope he does make it out of this arc.
Yeah, there's a hyperfixation going on with him that's evidently very charming. There's, I really do feel like that's kind of a relatable thing where you know, you're stuck between your duty and your passion. And this guy is, you know, an exaggerated version of that. You know, we all have our things that we want to do, that we would rather be doing. And this guy, like, finding someone like Chihiro who actually, like, forces him to choose his passion in a sense is kind of an interesting dynamic here. That, like, Chihiro's, like, skill with the sword has piqued his interest so much that he's just like, you know, well, fuck my job.
As opposed to Hirohiko, who is very dismissive of like learning swordsmanship and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
This probably doesn't happen if Hirohiko gives a fuck about swordsmanship.
Probably not.
To be honest. Because every time like Chihiro like pushes him, he thinks back to Hirohiko being like, fuck off, dude. I'm just gonna wing it kind of thing.
Yeah. Which means that if Kugiri ever gets like the enchanted blade working, he's probably going to be super strong with it. So
True.
I feel like that's a seed that they're planting. There's so many people who's probably going to end up with an enchanted blade. It's possible that none of the original masters end up with it in the end. But
True.
But in the event that it goes to this guy and he gets to use one, it'll be very interesting to see. But I really liked this chapter. I thought it was a really cool development for Chihiro, setting him on this like kind of path. And Kagurabachi is his peak. You know, what are you gonna say? Sometimes the hype is real, and in Kagurabachi's case, it is. It's great. I actually bought the first volume this week because I'm like, I've got to have it. I wish I could do the same for Sakamoto Days, but I am running out of space in my bookshelf. But I would bestow that honor on Sakamoto Days also. But yeah. Hey, if you haven't read Kagurabachi, you're only 64 chapters behind. So
read it.
Get on it.
Read it.
Those are all my thoughts.
I had a couple.
Yeah, go for it, Josh.
I didn't think about this before, but well, I guess this is like a newly introduced idea that like they're kind of reinventing Chihiro in a sense. Like they're sort of like allowing him to develop without the sword. I mean, they even said that if he can improve his base, abilities with the sword, he can be even better with his enchanted blade. So this is kind of like an opportunity to see Chihiro grow, where, with the enchanted blade, he was not that he was running through people, but I don't know, it's just interesting. It's more interesting this way. And I think that's cool. I don't think he's about to just beat this guy. It wouldn't really make sense if he was able to win against him. But Chihiro's been in a lot of life or death battles already. Even with the N10, it's still a sword, so he may have good instincts or whatever. So I just think it's interesting. That's the only real thought I had.
All right, hell yeah. That's all I had to say. Are we ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I don't really have to fucking care who's in my way. I'm gonna fucking kill everybody.
Dandadan.
Dandadan, 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 dandadan.
And with that, I'm gonna pass this one over to Brian.
All right, so the Dandadan, chapter 182. Something's taking the bait. The chapter starts off with a woman waking up in the middle of a kind of I don't even know where this is. Have we seen this place before?
It feels like some kind of weird wasteland.
Yeah, it
looks like you remember where they met that ghost that Ira is possessed by?
Acro Silky?
Yeah, it kind of looks similar to that. It's like kind of an abandoned warehouse or something.
Yeah, a little bit.
So this woman wakes up. Have we ever? I don't think we've ever seen her before. Have we?
No.
Stark naked.
I will say that her suit is familiar. She seems to be one of the aliens that attacked Okotsu. Not Okotsu, sorry. Okarun.
Oh, one of the army people.
Yeah, remember when they all pulled up and jumped him?
Yeah.
I think she was one of the aliens.
Okay, so she wakes up. She has like a crosshair for one of her eyes.
Very edge.
She's covered in
Pretty cool,
scars
actually.
from head to toe. And she is approached by Saint Germain, the teacher and the head counselor for the extra the whatever it's
Space
called club.
people.
Yeah, not the space people.
Wait, isn't
but
he an alien?
He's kind of an alien, but he's head of the paranormal activities club as well. So there's that too. And he goes, so you're awake. Is that something you dropped? And she looks over and sees the armor that Christian talked about earlier. And he says that it's no good and that she should get a new one. To which she replies, what does he want? And essentially he's trying to recruit her to doing something for him. And basically he kind of convinces her to helping him by saying that there's no way that she'll be able to get off of this planet without his help anyway. So essentially that's how he enlists her. And the chapter moves on past that conversation like it never fucking happened. So last week we didn't cover it, but what's this guy's name again?
Umbrella Boy.
Yeah, I forget what Umbrella Boy's name is. Let me see. Zuma.
Yeah, Zuma.
So Zuma showed up last chapter because the guy who got out of the cursed box from the previous arc has been rapidly aging. And it turns out that old guy was actually a kid when he went into the cursed box, and now he is literally a grandpa. So they're trying to find a way. Oh, and his family didn't accept him back because they don't believe that that's their son. So
Yeah, only
trying to
4
find-
years passed since the kid was gone,
Mm-hmm.
but he grew way faster within that box.
yeah, so he came to them to try to find a way to reverse the aging. But Jin and what's this girl's name again? I keep forgetting her name.
Ira?
Jin and Ira
Gigi.
show up. Gigi, yeah, same thing. They both show up, and while these guys are having conversation, they get the wrong idea, and they start a fight with Zuma. But they quickly break up the fight and choose to work together, and we pick up from this scene with tensions still being kind of mixed. Jin and Issa don't really trust Zuma, so they're kind of glaring daggers at him. Zuma doesn't give a fuck, but his friend is kind of like, what's their fucking problem? So the whole vibe of this squad is completely fucked right now. And Ayase is trying to kind of get people to kind of knock it off as they get home to Seiko's house, where they meet Manjiro, who's like Seiko's assistant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the same town that Jin is from.
They meet Seiko, and she's covered in bandages and shit, which obviously makes Ayase worried about her. And she's packing her bags. So she kind of lets them know that they're headed to find they found a lead. on bringing Ayase back to normal and that everybody should get ready to go. So Jin and Issa are tagging along. Zuma is also tagging along because shit's kind of going south for this kid. But just as they are getting ready to leave, what's this guy's name again? The
Umbrella Boy.
Oh,
Your
the
favorite
chubby
character,
dude. The nerdy chubby kid.
Oh,
it's
wow,
Christian.
Quinta.
Quinta.
Quinta the goat.
So Quinta shows up on a on like a little space
Quinta.
glider kind of thing, and he informs us that they found the teacher who blackmailed Yukishiro, who was the girl that like in the past like 3 chapters ago who tried to steal Ayase's power with the knife. He informs them that they took her to the gym and that the class rep is keeping an eye on her during the situation. So the gang tries to kind of postpone this trip, but Seiko says that they have to go because there's going to be a supermoon and they need to be on time for the hours of the ox on the day of the supermoon. So the team has to split up in this moment. So they split off into 2 groups. Issa, Okarun, and Quinta stay behind, while Ayase, Jin, Zuma, and Seiko go off to undo the curse put on the kid and also Ayase. And as Okarun's group blasts off to go find give reinforcements to class rep, we see her we cut to class rep and she's kind of peeking over the corner, kind of keeping an eye on the situation, and behind her is a giant muscular figure shrouded in darkness, and that's where the chapter ends.
Oh my god.
Chris, what are your thoughts?
I really like this chapter. I'm very excited. I love when we get teams splitting off, characters splitting off to do different things. I like the dynamic here. Quinta is involved, so goated chapter already.
Well, it's been a while since he's done something, right?
He doesn't really need to do much for me. It's just his faces, the faces he makes, and the things he says makes me laugh. He's just like one of my favorite characters.
I mean, the way he even fell.
Yeah, the way he even fell, and the way he's crawling on the ground like that, just like, god dang it. He's such a like absurdly drawn character that I can't help but love him. But I'm excited for what's to come. I wonder if this guy behind the class rep lady is the gym teacher we saw. Because he's such,
I thought so too.
he reminds me of like that build and that head shape, the hair, the way it goes up like that.
Yeah, the
It's
hair
like,
spiked
kinda
up.
reminds me of that guy.
Yeah, maybe this is a misdirection.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on. A lot of the characters are going with ISA. There's Gigi, there's Vamala, Zuma's going with the old guy. It's all interesting stuff. I don't remember who this blonde kid is. Did he have any specific powers?
I think he's just a kid that goes to Zuma's school.
Okay. He'll probably get powers too. It'll be super cool.
And the police dad is heading over, is like keeping an eye on Seiko too, I think.
Oh, nice.
So there's going to be like a pretty big ensemble going to that place.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the main climax of this arc is probably going to take place where ISA is. Mm-hmm. But this will be cool to see how this turns out as well. I do love that Ira is low-key kind of... She is like very much the leader of this group, I feel. She's like takes the most responsibility. She's always first in line to fight. I think Ira is kind of an underrated character in my mind because she's like always ready to scrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right now,
he is always ready.
with Okarun not having his power, she kind of is like the powerhouse of this team. So
Yeah, and she's always been one of the stronger characters as well. Like she just says the front lines, and she always takes the responsibility. So Ira's kind of underrated. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
her
she
go.
can take a beating too. Like she's not frail.
No. But yeah, I really like this chapter. But those are all my thoughts. I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm glad the arc is getting into full effect. Josh, what did you think?
So, in what I think was my panel of the week, the very last panel, of this tall figure watching her from the background, that shit was crazy.
Wait, which one?
On the last page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember what I talked about Sakamoto? Like, oh, this is like a Sakamoto chapter, like that engulfs everything in the series. This panel right here, I feel like is Dandadan. Like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking weird and creepy, but also kind of like funny.
They
'Cause
do it all the
like,
time.
no one's about to die.
They do this all the time where they will just have a page that's like deeply unsettling, but also like very weird.
And you know what's interesting is that the characters themselves always have the same stupid expression, but then it's juxtaposed by the most detailed and like off-putting thing you'll ever see. It's so odd. like
It's like it reminds me of One Piece.
Yeah.
They do that too.
It's so funny. Like this expression that class rep has, literally every main character has that face. Literally every main character.
Yeah, I mean it's capturing the very second they notice something weird. Before it really registers in their mind, and then something weird is like something even weirder is in the horizon or right behind them.
Yes,
they're like, wow, that's really weird.
Behind her.
They're like, wow, that's really weird. And then the thing behind them is even weirder.
It's so good.
Yeah. I really like how much attention all these characters get in Dandadan. It's a nice vibe. It's a nice feel. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the series doesn't take itself too serious at all. It has a goal in mind, and its goal is not to just hurry up and reach an end point. I think it's to just have fun, arc by arc. That's what I like about it. And yeah, I mean, we about to have the characters split off. I mean, she ain't crazy. I don't know if we're gonna see. I think we're just gonna continue to see what's happening at the school, and whatever happens with Momo. What's her name? What's her actual name? Ayase. Yeah, whatever happens with Ayase, it's just gonna happen like off screen or whatever. It's not gonna take like priority at all. We'll probably see bits and pieces. I'm down for that. Okarun does not have his abilities, right?
Yeah.
But maybe he could use some of that shit that Taka's using. What's his name?
Quinta?
Quinta, thank you.
Oh, the
nanobots?
memory shape. Something.
Yeah, maybe he could use some memory shape foam
Yeah.
to create super nice insoles for his sneakers.
So he can run fast.
I mean, he could probably, it won't help him run faster, but he'll feel a lot more comfortable, I'll tell you that.
I feel like this is going to be a moment where he has to find a way to make an impact on his own. He's already felt the weight of losing Turbo Granny. So in this moment, I feel like, Ginta and Issa are going to be doing all the heavy lifting, and he's going to be kind of trying to figure out where he kind of fits into this group now that he doesn't have that, impact that he used to. So we'll see some development out of him. So kind of be like a moment where Ayase is coming back to being herself, and and Okaroon is kind of rediscovering himself in a way. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Were those all your thoughts, by the way, Josh?
Yes, it was.
All right. Brian, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, this was a pretty nice chapter. I already kind of dipped my toes into what I wanted to talk about, but I was pleasantly surprised to see Zuma back so soon. He was actually like a really cool character last arc. I'm a bit bummed out that he grew out his hair. I kind of liked his more punk hairstyle from the previous arc, but then again, I'm still a big fan of him. I'm a huge fan of how like his umbrella abilities and shit. It's pretty sick. So hopefully we get to see more of that. Considering how many people are going to be on Team Ayase, the scale of the shit that's about to go down over there is probably going to be fucking crazy. I'm not going to lie. Whatever happens at Ayase's side is going to be fucking bonkers because of how
the
many
Umbrella Kid's going too. I forgot.
Yeah, it's going to be they have a lot of fucking heavy hitters going over there. So just the fact that there's that much shit, that many powerful people going over there, it's going to be fucking crazy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not going to be an easy task.
Yeah.
So it's going to be wild. So like team Issa is probably going to have the lighter load, so to speak, on their end compared to the other guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are all my thoughts on Dandadan. Fun chapter this week. Can't complain.
Yeah. Dandadan rules. But yeah, those are all my thoughts as well. Shall we move onward?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Bow, bow, bow.
Pow, pow, pow.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Joe.
Undead Unluck, chapter number 238. 1. That's the name of the chapter.
1.
So Luna's like, in my final moments, this is what I wish to see, which is for them, the Negators, to design the world however they like. By the way, last week they defeated God. Luna wished all the Negators victorious. They turned all the Umas and they transform them into laws, so they're not like living creatures anymore, so they're just laws of the land. And what Luna's doing is allowing them to pick and choose which laws they want to have included in the world. So basically Andy comes to the same conclusion as I guess what everybody else pretty much agrees on, which is that the world is like fine as it is, right? Like we just keep it. Billy brings up a good point. He says, true, there's still some dangerous stuff lingering around, like war, but I imagine things would go south without rules that deal with fighting and strife, which we went over a bunch of chapters ago, but it was a really good point about how, like, there's a difference between war and just, murdering and suffering or whatever, or genocide. It's about creating rules and a standard, to work towards. Anyway, so they all start going back and forth about are there some umas maybe, some laws maybe we don't want to include, and some even think about we killed we killed an important uma, the fall uma. So it's is there gonna be no fall? And Nico starts to think about how we could make other laws so that we can replicate the seasons or whatever. So nice little banter between all the Negators. And then Julia gets everyone's attention and she's like, look, as of today, the union is disbanded. Thank you everybody. We did what we were supposed to do, and from here on out, I want y'all to live your lives. All right. Then they all look towards Fuko and they're just like, damn, like, is there nothing we could do about her memories? But there's nothing that can be done at the moment. And it's just like, look, I've got just the plan in store, so go ahead and leave her to me. All right. All y'all could chill. Just do what you want to do in your life. And we'll see each other when we see each other. Catch y'all on the flip side or wherever your dreams may take you. So that was really nice. They all leave, and it's just Fuko and Andy remaining, and he's like, all right, I guess we should get going too. And she's like, where the fuck are we going? She's like terrified because she's with this complete stranger, right? It's pretty funny and really creepy. But I guess Fuko's passive enough to just kind of go with it. So like Annie's like, I want to take you to where we kick things off. So like the beginning of the series. But they're not the only ones that went there, because we see your boy Soul. And he's there with a cool outfit on and a black hat. Chris or Brian really likes this character design.
Me?
Who?
Chris or
Soul?
Brian.
I mean, I don't like it particularly.
No?
Yeah, me neither, really.
Brian?
It's like it's well drawn.
I was wrong.
As like a,
Yeah.
but I'm not like, oh
It's
yeah.
not JoJo's.
No, I wouldn't say this is JoJo's at all.
Are you talking about Soul?
He is talking about Soul.
Yeah, he's kind of basic.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a guy.
Kind of looks like an art snob, really.
Okay.
What did you think this was like JoJo? Because JoJo's is way more exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
JoJo's, it would be him pulling his fucking shirt out for some reason while standing up here and posing.
He would have been standing like at
Would have had
angle
like
or something like
he would
that.
have had like 12 chain wallets.
It would have been no way you could have missed it. So they see Soul there. Andy pulls up to him, and they're on this bridge, which is again where the series started with Fuko. No, Andy. Andy was there, like about to commit suicide, and Fuko like runs into him or something like that.
No, it was Fuko. It was
believe
the other way
that's
around. Fuko was going to commit suicide at the beginning, and then Andy saved her.
Oh shit. And that's why he was like, "Oh, sick! I'm trying to kill myself too." All right, wow, damn. Maybe I'll read Undead Unluck again too. So anyway, and he's talking to Soul, and he's like, basically, he kind of knew he was gonna be there. He was like, if I was in your shoes, I'd be there too. We were both giving it our all, so it only makes sense you'd want to know, right? Why you lost, where it all went wrong. He said you wanted to see our origin point to retrace your steps and see how you fucked up.
Yeah.
Andy's funny for that. Soul's just like glaring at him like, all right, man.
Come
You
on,
got
dude.
it. Jeez. And Annie's like, yeah, I could tell, like when I sliced Sun, I felt like I didn't hit you. I could feel those things. Trust. It's also just like, bro, what do you want, man? And he's like, look, like, you know what I'm here for. Give her back her memories. He's talking about Fuko. You can do that, right? He's like, oh, what makes you think I could do that? He's like, his memories are part of the soul, bro. So, we used the artifact and stop being a fucking asshole, bro. You lost. And you want to see us be happy. You a fan. So that's why you survived, right? To take a critical look at the world we're gonna create and see how it differs from Luna and the Suns. And yeah, that's what Luna was basically saying to Soul. She's like, I want you to teach them. They'll be working according to the laws they selected. So Luna left him to help out. So Soul bounces from the bridge And then we see another guy, and it's
Unruin.
Ruin. Yeah. And it's crazy because Soul is like, bro, where'd you come from? Weren't you in space?
And he was like, I was, but then
Yeah.
we got canceled, I guess. So I'm here now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. Actually, I'm looking for the exact bubble when he says that. He says, I'm surprised you managed to make it back. You were in space, weren't you? And he's like, I collided with you. Like with that when the asteroids it said you remember during Unluck's meteor shower. Oh, he came from space on one of those asteroids. And yeah, I guess was on the planet and did not join the fight because they were canceled. And he says he got affected by Remember too, which was interesting. I guess it affects all the negators no matter what. But Soul was like, man, they totally got us, right? So they just go back and forth about how, like, you know, they got they ass handed to them. I mean, Unruined basically goes on about like what his deal was a little bit before that about like how, you know, he wanted to make people feel the way he felt, you know, like how like everybody resented him, so he. Well, they said the word he used was everyone wanted to negate him, so he wanted to negate the world, and that's what God was trying to do. So that's why he took their side. But you know, he's gonna be better than that now, and in this new world, he's gonna do things like he says he'll seek out guys who are fed up with this world as I am, and tell them to knock it off, or you'll get sent into space for a known amount of time. So I was like, I see. How about I'll make sure no one complains. This world has been validated by Fuko and Andy. And Fuko's like, oh, it's dangerous, Andy. You know, since you're not undead anymore. Which I remember. I was like, oh, yeah, he's not undead. That's the end of the chapter. He's like, welcome back. And it's nice. Fuko has her memories. Thank God. All right. Brian, what were your serious thoughts about this chapter?
All right. It was an okay chapter. But what was the point of Fuko losing her memories? Really? What was actually the point? Because it's like, I think personally the message would have been more endearing that love triumphs through all. And even if like you took away the memories, they were just going to build new ones and kind of forge the same bond again. You know what I mean? Like, even though there was a sacrifice, the sacrifice is meaningless because the love will always still be there. But they kind of just immediately went, hey, give it back to her. And then he went, okay. That's pretty, like, literally like one chapter after.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know the series is about to end soon, but it's kind of, it feel like the weight of her losing her memories is completely null and void. Like, it would have been cool for it to be like, you know, them seeking out Fuko and kind of rebuilding that bond with her, and kind of integrating themselves into her life in different ways. I know it was like that's not something that they would be able to flesh out completely, but they could just show like everybody visiting her or talking to her, or her and Andy forging a new relationship and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been a better ending than, you know, it feels like this is kind of a cop out. And it kind of takes away a little bit from Undead Unluck's message. You know what I mean? But you know, series is ending soon. So I guess it's fine that he did it this way, but I don't know. I personally was a little bit of like on the rocks about that. But Unruined came back. We were wondering where the fuck he was.
Yeah.
There he is.
By the way, I didn't forget about him.
Oh, I'm around.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. Like that was the main thing for me was Fuko's memory thing. But Chris, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time, it's just kind of a casualty of being canceled. I fully expect that, although I do think that this is where it would have ended up. I feel like finding Soul again would have been its own little tiny epilogue arc. And, finding him and, making it an adventure that Fuko could connect with Andy on feels like that would have been the way to go. But when you're canceled, you only have a certain amount of chapters. And I'm sure that, like, since Undead Unluck has been going for some time, they gave him a bit more of a cushion than they would give other people. But it probably wasn't enough. I mean, you see how much they condensed into the final few chapters. So it is just like kind of a casualty of being canceled. And it's unfortunate because I think Brian's right. Like obviously these would have been the better steps to take. And even, Unruin being put in at the end here is just like more of a housekeeping thing than probably the way he wanted to reintroduce Unruin initially. So I give it a little bit of slack because, we've literally probably only got one chapter of Undead Unluck left.
Yeah, I could expect a wedding next chapter.
Yeah, I fully expect the next chapter to be the last.
Yeah, same. I was actually gonna ask that. Like,
Yeah.
how sure are we about the next chapter being the last? But yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because I don't know why, but the thing that really oddly enough reassured me is that Yozakura family ended this week.
Oh, damn.
So I was like, oh, then it might be the end
Wow.
for Undead.
End of an era for Jump.
End of an era. I mean, it's always interesting when a long running series.
I'm so genuinely happy we don't have to read it. I don't have to eat all that shit.
Well, I never recommended it on that scale. I liked Yozakura family, but I wouldn't I'm not screaming from the rooftops. People have to go and run and read it. But that's neither here nor there. There's definitely a feeling of finality here, and it's just one of those things that's unfortunate when you cancel a series that, like, especially the one that's been going for as long as Undead has. But for new series to come in to Jump, series have to end. So it's probably like the big reason it's canceled overall. But so far, I mean, as far as these things kind of go, I thought that they did a good job. That Tozuka did a good job with this chapter. It felt organic enough. It felt like, I like the message and I like that, I like the conversation. It didn't feel like they were necessarily like sprinting here. There was definitely, and I think like this goes to show for like page economy and just being able to stretch out like these moments on a page. This chapter was 22 pages and it felt like, it covered everything that this guy originally probably wanted to do. As best he could, given that he only has like a chapter or two left.
Real quick, fun fact. We were, if Undead Unluck ends next week, it would be 2 days short of exactly 6 years since the series came out.
Oh, wow.
Undead Unluck's been out for 6 years?
Yeah, it first released in 2019.
Damn.
So it's legit.
When did you start reading it?
Around chapter, I want to say, I have the exact chapter number. Hold on. You guys,
wasn't it part of?
Correct?
Wasn't it part of our like a Gravity Boys like thing?
I don't think so.
We did our because we did our thing where we were reading like a bunch of Jump series, right? And Undead Unluck was on that rotation. Like it was on that.
That's possible.
Was
I
that
mean,
part of it? Nah, because Undead Unluck was already gone for a while.
yeah, Undead
was a
Unluck had been
different
going
time.
for a while. And it was voted, and that's why we added it.
I think Samurai 8 ended up winning that.
I'm trying to find Undead. Okay, there it is. Undead Unluck started. We started it in chapter 47. And here we are, 238. We've been following it for a long time.
Yeah, pretty interesting. like that it ended literally 2 days shy of 6 years running.
It be that way sometimes. But those are all my thoughts. Josh, what did you think?
I really don't have much more to add other than yeah, I don't have much more to say that hasn't already been touched on. I'm not mad that Fuko got her memories back. I think this is just further obvious. Evidence that it was canceled. There was plans. There's plans to string this out, probably make a whole nother arc out of it, but it is what it is, and I'm looking forward to the final chapter.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
All right, guys. Well, if that's all, I
That's
suppose
all.
we should close this out. That has been Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on the social medias, Instagram and Twitter. You can follow him. You could catch him when he's streaming at twitch.tv/itspunchline. Check him out on that. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll talk about it on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. This week was a fun one. I hope you guys enjoy it. It'll be out Wednesday. So look forward to that. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's the video or the audio version on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Castbox, Pocket Casts. Always bump those. We are also obviously on YouTube. Please support us on there. That would be super duper nice. We've gotten video back online, and it would be cool to get some viewers. Leave some comments. Give us some likes. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Later.
Peace out.